Lavell Juan Malloy II was the CEO of a publicly traded company called the Bragg House. Stock symbol TBH. You guys know what a Bragg House is? Bring it, right? Lavell is an athlete, and he created this business to be the #1 home for the casual gamer. I'm not talking Parcheesi, Mike. I'm not talking about you playing dime slots at the thing. I have to say, look, I have probably been involved in 75 public companies, $650 million in capital formation. And I'm on my heels when I talk to you because of what you're doing and how you did it. And I'm going to say this first. You guys, Dan always says, you guys want a roadmap to get there. He's about to give you one because he found a group, like Steve Forbes always said, find it, eat, and fill it. He found an affinity group. He said, what am I going to sell to these people? And the group was gamers, right? Take it from there.
Well, it's really exciting. Thank you guys for all here. So, I mean, what I tried to do actually, and I was actually talking to one of your colleagues, I just tried to give something that I felt like I didn't see in other places. I took community. You know, people a lot of use that word, but I don't feel like people really know what that word means. So it's like, you know, there are people who like to play games. You know, we were just talking about Apex. There are people who like to watch games. There are people who have friends who have games. There are people who like to build games. But there's so many different people there. And at that same time, they just want to connect and find other people.
But Lavell, what you basically did was, I found a customer base that's all in one place. They happen to play, I mean, it could be senior citizens.
It's true.
It could be people that knit cat sweaters. You found a gaming community, and that's a community, but really is. You know, like if I could sell somebody something to that affinity group, that's a big deal. So what was the tip of the spear for you to go from, okay, there's a group, what am I going to offer them?
Well, it was really, I kind of took, you know, you mentioned things that were kind of important to me. So I play sports. I'm a lawyer by trade, and I love video games. And I played video games, and you know they stopped making some of the video games that I liked, and I felt like that they weren't really connecting to people.
Like Pong, for example.
I played a lot of sports games, and I wanted to play, like, you know, be a part of my school. I went to University of Texas, and I wanted to, you know, I played sports there, so I was like really excited.
Welcome. Right.
I do it all the time. And then they stopped because of like the likeness image thing, and they couldn't pay people anymore. And I watched and I said, and I guess you guys were having this conversation, I saw all these brands and people and older people saying, hey, let's connect to these people. Let's give them advertisement. But nobody was trying to meet you guys where you were.
So you were the on-ramp. You tried the on-ramp.
And that's what I did. I just tried to create something. I was like, hey, you know what? Because think about it. I mean, who wants to, if someone can give you what you want, is that not interesting to you? But if someone just shows you stuff and says, you want all of this, you're going to pass by it.
You know what's interesting is when we grew up, yes, you just tell us what we want. And we just, these guys are more sophisticated. I mean,
very sophisticated.
They've got a gift of discernment. Yeah. What did you decide to offer? Like, what's the business? Okay, so you're the on-ramp. Yeah. Here's the community. What were you pitching?
It's a couple of things. One, it's a place where people can play. One, it's a place where people can watch and engage with other people. And then based on engagement, there are a lot of different things of value that you can get. So you can, you know, win things. You can, you know, you can achieve things from the store. So honestly, it's whatever brands, and now the brands are all behind us. You know, from
talk
food,
about some of those
clothing. So McDonald's and Coca-Cola were the first.
Heard
brands.
of them?
Yeah, where's our French fries? I think you were supposed
McDonald's
to.
and
So
Coca-Cola.
I haven't even got any.
Because Lavell, if I'm a marketing VP for McDonald's, you have just served me a giant segment of the audience right in one place to carpet bomb with delicious fries and Big Macs. I mean, was that their reaction when, as far as adoptability, when you came and pitched that?
It was funny because they, again, and I'll be very honest, they were like, this is amazing. And then I was like,
why didn't we think of it?
They said, how did you do this? And I said, well, did you ask them what they wanted? And nobody did that. So again, the entire thing, it's a lot more, you know, it's a lot more sophisticated than that. But essentially, that's what it is. So you have you have what you want, and then, you know, if I gave you what you want, you saw this, you're playing Apex, and I'm talking to you because I remember we were talking about that. Would you not want to tell me, hey, you know what? I like this type of clothing. For sure. Exactly.
And
they all picked the shirt.
I'd be happy to see the change, or that he actually listened to what we wanted.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, speaking from a gaming community, we all want something, like, from the game or.
It's usually be left alone, isn't it?
But if you listen to what he said, everyone could probably have a similar answer. Yeah, ask me what I want, and I'm happy to give it to you. So I created this entire thing where it's like, you are the most important people. And I bet there's some people who don't play games. Please go on and look at it, because you'll find, a great story I had is we had interns, and there was one intern, and she was like, one of the smartest people I know. She went to Virginia Tech, University of Virginia.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Right.
And we were doing these interviews. I was showing her how to do like pitches. And then she came to me and she said, well, I don't really game. I don't really have anything to offer with gaming. And I said, that's not true. And she came up with a slogan that we used for like the past 5 years, which was called Brag On. And I was like, and literally, and I was like, you contributed like more than anyone else contributed. So, again, that's the whole point of it. And then again, we try to listen to the community. So that's the platform we created. It's obviously built on games. We have every type of game.
Okay, so let me get this right. You started a business, you said, what do you want? They told you, and then you did it. I mean, honestly, Steve Forbes, who is a big entrepreneur, basically said, if you want to be successful in business, find a need and then fill it. That seems very simple. But people don't do that. They want to reinvent the wheel, don't they, Dan? They make it more complicated. Because
look, the premise is you're meeting them where they are.
Exactly.
And then you're making them the hero of the story that you're sharing with them.
Exactly.
And it's so simple that, of course, they're not going to be skeptical. Of course, they're going to say to you, as Derek just did, hey, that's
trust
what
you.
you heard me. You heard me. You saw me. You heard me. You celebrated me. Amen. I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you guys also were talking about trust. I was listening in the control room. Really cool. And, I wanted to ask, would you trust, your best friend if they said, oh, try this game out? That's what most people would do.
it's a solid yes. Would you trust if I said it?
And so it's like you put this like social currency there where I'm like, hey, my friend is on this. We're doing this and stuff. Again, it's not complicated. It's just putting the attention to actually do it and listening.
Hey, Lavell, Dan and Lavell, is there an us versus them mentality? Because from us, from my perspective, I'm just trying to figure out how to use email and not a race car.
I don't think they want one. And I do think it's all simple, but it's not easy.
No.
Someone taught me that.
They don't want.
I think they want to connect. And I
You
think
guys want to connect?
That's a huge
I mean,
point.
they're
I was actually
Yeah.
going to ask that question, and I was hoping I'd get that answer, but that's a huge point.
well, that's only my opinion. I see it in the classroom every day. I see it in the world when we're coaching them in businesses. They want to have human contact.
Yeah.
Well, and Lavell, you've created an on-ramp for that, but it's also a profitable on-ramp. Can I ask you, just now that you're a startup and you're public traded, when you first started, you came up with a cap table and you figured out how much your use of funds, how much money you're going to have to raise, and so on.
Yes.
How much in legal fees did you first project? And because, and I'm going to say, look, I run a venture fund, and I can tell you what's really interesting is when people are trying to raise money and they don't realize, oh, we're going to raise like $1.5 million, bro. You're going to spend $500,000 in legal fees at some point. Is that something that people don't understand? It's not necessarily antagonistic, but it's necessary, right? Legal fees are a real issue, and business law is a real issue when you start. Talk about that for a second.
I think that completely that was underestimated, and also I will say the biggest thing that helped me was the things I learned from being a lawyer.
Yeah.
Contracts,
How to think. Yeah. Spot
corporations,
issues, right?
issues, analytical thinking
yeah.
about things
Yeah.
were the biggest things that actually helped me. So,
Do you remember Iraq from law school?
I do.
It's how I started. That's the principle of this year is if I could just teach them that, they'll win.
Yeah.
Spot issues, understand the rules, analyze, and make a conclusion.
I think that's exactly right. The
'Cause
analytical reasoning has been probably the single best thing that's helped me be a
right?
public
I was going to say, I didn't love being a lawyer, 7 years, but I loved what I learned being a lawyer.
Yeah.
But isn't law school and sitting for the bar and lawyering 3 different things, really, if you think about it?
At least.
I mean, honestly.
I would say so.
I went to law school. I remember saying, this has nothing to do with what those guys are doing. I never liked you, Your Honor. I mean, honestly, it's interesting because I think you're right, it's the mindset, it's how you think. It's the analytics and how you're approaching a decision, right? It's not necessarily, guys, for me it wasn't, not trusting the other side. It's just buttoning it up so that, Look,
I think it's also learning to ask the right questions. So all the skepticism goes away when you're confident enough to ask the right questions and feel good about your decisions. And you're giving that to them in a business because you're meeting them where they are. You're setting that environment.
That's exactly
Which
right.
is super cool.
Yeah.
So when we come back, you're going to talk about your revenue funnels, business model.
Yeah.
And I want to hear from you guys, what questions you guys have as far as, okay, what's the first thing you did? I mean, because I love the fact that you
tell
guys
you
want a roadmap because I think that way too.
I want to hear a bragging comes into play. Yeah.
Lavell Juan Malloy II, CEO, co-founder, Bragg House. Ticker symbol, TBH. Much more to come.